Alright, so welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a Norwich City career mode on FIFA 20. I think I'm going to call this Keeping Up the Canaries, because I don't want to be too confident and say that we're going to do anything better than avoid relegation, which has to be the initial prospect for this season. We got a pre-season tournament invite, and I mean, they were all the same difficulty. It was just a bit more prize money for going to Italy, so we're going for that one. There could have been Swansea in the first one, but we weren't too bothered. And our scout was kind enough to tell us maybe we should go for a 31 million Marcus Rashford. I don't think we even have, I think we have about 20 million as our budget to start off with. And so if you think Norwich City are about to spend 20 million, oh, it's funny that we've got Snodgrass here and Graben, two ex-Norwich players who are both 31, and we're clearly not going to sign with our young, exciting team. Yeah, considered Jesus, but I thought I probably didn't have 100 million on me. So then we got into just editing the team up. And I wasn't too sure about Cantwell. I don't think he's, especially on FIFA this year, no one expected him to be as good in the Premier League this year as he has been. And so his stats reflect that. He's not that fast. And so I didn't really want to play Steeperman either. I didn't want to play both of them who would play centrally if neither of them were going to be too fast and have that much of an effect on it. So I took Steeperman out and I put Hernandez in for a bit of pace. I didn't put Grant Hanley anywhere near the team because we actually are trying to keep a clean sheet here. And I also take out Krul for Farman, Mr. Tim Liability Krul, who is only 74 rated in this, for an 80 rated Farman was a no-brainer. I put a quick sub because I was planning on bringing Dermich on for Pookie, and also take Hernandez off so he doesn't completely take his stamina away, and bring Patrick Roberts on just to see how the team is, because I'm going to switch loads of this team up for the second match. I'm just trying to get a feel for how the players are, and this is actually my first game on FIFA 20. So this could have been a learning curve. At least in this version we don't have so many defensive injuries, so I can actually, in my complete next game, switch up the entire defence if I want to. I'll keep Jamal Lewis there because I don't think we have another left back, but two centre backs can come in, and then we've got the right back as well. I'm going to do my best to play actual Farker ball here. I mean, I called my guy Farker Jr., and I'm just going to try and play actual impressive football with Pookie making runs in behind and having everyone come forwards and support the team, and we all can make good passes even in the opponent's third. We don't really want to be scoring too many from outside the box. I mean, we'll take a wonder goal here and there, but we're trying to actually work it into the box so that we can have finishers at the end of the move. We also scout Jordan Ibe out to see how much they're actually going to want for him, because he is a young prospect and he could improve quite well, because we could do with some good wingers, especially if Cantwell doesn't do too well in the first match. But obviously we go for the lovely home kit of Norwich City. We didn't want the ketchup kit, we want the yellow fading into the green, and then the opponents in blue.
It is one of the most famous venues in world football. Hello from the Stadio Olimpico here in the Eternal City, Rome. I'm Derek Ray, and with me here on the commentary position is Lee Dixon. And we have pre-season group stage action from the European International Cup coming up for you. It is Norwich City, and they take on Frosinone.
The manager gives some of the young players a ride out too. Definitely
so you see as it starts out, Frosinone, as they're called. I have never heard of them in my life, but they're definitely going on the attack at the start. Farman shows off that he can be just as much of a liability as Krul if he wants, as he goes for a punch when he could have clearly caught it. We have space here with Aarons, who pushes up very well, and he really joins the attack in for Norwich in FIFA 20, which is lovely. We don't quite get anything out of it, but we are playing quite well, and we're getting caught at the back, and so they get a chance, they get a shot off, but it really isn't doing any much damage. We've got Pookie in space on the right, and he just needs someone to support. There was Hernandez at the bottom, but he absolutely scuffs the pass. They then play some nice football to pass through, and he didn't need to take the shot there. He could have taken a touch, set himself. However, they just get another chance. He plays it through. Absolutely lovely play, but they can't finish for their life, and that's a header wide. Farman actually keeps his hands on it this time and launches it away so that Pookie can hold it off. And he's got more pace than you'd expect just from looking at him, Pookie, especially with the fading hairline. You'd expect him to be an older, just pure finisher. But he does get a chance, and he just drags it wide. They get another header and another big chance, but if they don't take these, Norwich will get more of a chance as the second half comes in. First half, we were really warming into it. I changed the formation so that I can get the wingers a bit more involved, have them come in narrow, so that we can control the midfield, because that is one thing that we weren't doing at all in the first half. We were really just hoofing it up to Pukki and hoping he's going to make everything work with no support, and no one's going to be able to do that. But immediately we're playing actual good football. There's always options in space, and Roberts seems to always want to run. He doesn't get the final ball in with his weak foot, but we're just clear chance as a back heel comes in. Emi takes a shot and it goes nowhere, and he plays through Roberts, who finishes, but the flag is up. Emi just took 1 second too long to play the through ball, and clean football from Norwich. It's what you want to see, just giving us clear chances where it's harder to miss than score. And as Roberts goes away again, he seems like he could be a really good player for this team, and the keeper just tips it over. You wouldn't believe it from the original shot, but the keeper did get a small touch on it. Not that Norwich are too good from corners, but Hernandez goes through and he hits the post, and then Frosinone, or whatever they were called, get one more chance. But this second half is all one-way traffic as O'Neill delays the pass so long it becomes a corner. But we bring Kenny McLean on, we bring the Mayor to see if he can change the second half, give Norwich a goal. Comes out to Vrancic, who has scored from here. I think it was against Blackburn. He scored an absolute beauty, and he was trying to do it again. But you'll see here, I'm really disappointed with FIFA 20, because none of the Norwich players, as Dermot scores, I'll get back to that in a second, literally his first touch of the entire game, you wouldn't know it's Dermot because they have no player likenesses except for Farman, who was at Schalke and a big deal a few years ago. So yeah, I'm annoyed about FIFA for that. But a front post header, old habits die hard, and Dermot just gets an easy finish. So it's nice, Pukki's there for the runs through and the attacking runs, then Dermot is there just to finish it off. So we have actually versatile options at Norwich City now. As Dermot gets through again and just lays it across for the substitute Stiepermann with his first touch, and he gets a goal as well. So this was quite a tight game until the second half, and then it was only going to end one way as Stiepermann blasts it into the net.
Well, a second goal for them here. Emiliano Buendia.
And that is the end of the match. A solid 2-0 came into our stride in the second half, and hopefully we don't get a slower start in the next match, and we'll be able to progress through this cup quite confidently. Stiepermann managed to get man of the match, despite him literally touching it about 4 times. He did seem very good. He was strong on the ball, he held it well, and he was quite a good runner, and he was willing to run off the ball. So Stiepermann definitely starting next match as I switch the entire team up. Before I switch the team up, I've got to switch my manager up because I completely left him as an old guy in a tie, and I had to sort of give him a look that would be more of what a Farker Jr. would look like. And so I looked at a baseball cap, looked at a conductor's cap, and also a really generic Pro Clubs hairstyle, and I instead went for one that was a bit more realistic, shall we say. I gave him some facial hair, and he's not the most handsome guy you'll ever see, but he's probably a more realistic one. I had to go, of course, for a green jacket with a yellow striped tie, really representing the Norwich colours, and the yellow socks. Not that you'll ever be able to see them, just know in your head that he's wearing yellow socks and he's really representing the club. But here are the negotiations for people who thought that they would like to sign Max Aarons. This came completely out of the blue, and they wanted to offer 6 million, and I basically said, do you want 10 million, mate, because we don't want to sell him. And his reply was, go F yourself. No, we're not doing that, Aarons isn't that good. Which, to be fair, in the actual Premier League now, 10 million. If we only get 10 million for Max Aarons, then we've done really bad business, because he could be a future star in the making.
Alan Smith, as usual, we're in pre-season tournament action for you. It's a second group stage game. It's Freiburg against Norwich City.
We have gone for the ketchup kit here, as Stiepermann forces a save from the keeper straight away, a much faster start, as Kenny McLean takes a touchdown from a corner and tries to open his his scoring account. And we're already going faster. Stiepermann lays in, and Pukki finishes. It's absolute Pukki finish, just inside the box, gets in front of the defender, puts it so far into the corner that even if it's not the cleanest strike, it will go in. Roberts then just shot over, but it was all one-way traffic. Norwich is still attacking. Pukki plays through Hernandez with acres of space, and he finishes with the top knot. I mean the right foot finish. It's kind of, at least they've got his hair right, I guess. They got one thing about Hernandez, so you can clearly tell it's him. But Norwich here, absolutely dominating, and it was at this point I was really worrying that I've got the, as Pukki turns and finishes low, straight past the goalkeeper. I was worrying I've put the difficulty far too low if I'm 3-0 up. But we'll see, I think it's kind of fair for now. I might put it up 1 as we go further in, because this is currently just professional, so I might put it onto world class. But I want to see how we come against real competition, because we are going to be in the Premier League, rather than just because we won in pre-season. But I changed the whole team up here. I put Amadou and Closer at the back, and Tetty and McLean as the holding midfielders. And I'd put Sam Byram at right back, because I thought that I needed to try out if someone else was going to come for Aaron's, and they actually offered the money. And I brought Adam Ider on as well, the young Norwich striker, who has really solidified his place as the third choice striker behind Dermich and Pukki. He just hasn't got so much of a finishing capability. But Cantwell nutmegs the defender, to send it through to Patrick Roberts, who replies with a nutmeg of his own, just rolling it through the keeper's legs. Yes, I needed to see how good Sam Byram was, as Todd Cantwell hits the post, or hits the bar right at the end, and then volleys over. But that was pretty much the whole game for Norwich City. I needed to check Sam Byram to see if it was feasible to actually let Aaron's go if they offered a lot of money for him.
It was rather one-sided, wasn't it? Because of the capacity of one team to,
as you see, the brand new, the reinvigorated Darius Farker Jr. shaking hands with the referee. It was a very comfortable win for Norwich, even if the second half technically was only 0-0. Found this Rafael Leo, who looked like he could be a promising, he's like a 6'2", pacey striker, so he could really develop as maybe an Adam Ider 2.0. But we were also entering negotiations with Jordan Ibe, with Eddie Howe, and I tried to get him to switch for Grant Hanley for Jordan Ibe just straight up, despite their values being ever so slightly off. I thought maybe that could be worth. I nearly offered him 50 million for Jordan Ibe. I went for 5, just above the current value, and they said, yeah, they said it was all good, and I was quite surprised by that. I thought they'd try and push me up to like 6 million, so I thought I'd be quite nice with the first one, and so that made me maybe worry that I was actually not worth that much and that they're quite happy to just get rid of him. But I mean, he was on the transfer list, but good business. And now we talk to his Jordan Ibe's agent himself in a very, very posh restaurant where you'll probably see it quite a few times. But they want Jordan Ibe to be a core group of starters. We're fine with that. He's going to be basically where Hernandez or Roberts is, sorry, the right mid. So Roberts and Ibe will be regularly rotated. One of them will come on for the other in like 65th, 70th minute to give some more energy into the game, and they'll just take turns depending on who's got more stamina or who turns out to just be the better player. Roberts likes to cut inside and shoot. Ibe's more of a right footer, just get down the line and then cross it in. Not sure why the agent had a Lazio badge on his shirt, to be honest. But now we go into the next match.
Hi everybody, welcome to this wonderful setting in Milan, the San Siro. Martin Tyler here, as usual, along with Alan Smith, my very good friend and co-commentator. It's a pre-season tournament we're covering for you. This is a third group stage game. I think we're both really looking forward to this, Alan.
Well, it's been a good tournament so far. Plenty of...
Norwich start very bright as Pukki comes through and really should do better with his final touch, but he just doesn't get enough on. Ibe started, and he puts a lovely ball in for Buendia to just absolutely finish lovely, but it was offside. The right back, who had been following Emmy's run, just pulled up as they entered the penalty area, just outsmarted him. But then they couldn't do anything about Emmy just getting a lucky bobble off the defender to just send him completely through on goal. If he'd missed that one, that would have been unbelievable. But that was just the first half. It was a quick and easy first half for Norwich City. They were quite comfortable as I just decided not to pass it at all when he could have passed it or shot. So he comes off for a youngster called Fitzpatrick. And some absolutely lovely play. That was what we wanted to see. Quick passes, people getting free, and first time finishing from Dermich. That was probably his first touch again, so we have absolute impact subs here at Norwich City as everyone piles onto him, but it was just very simple, one touch play, nothing they could do about it. And that was the final match of the group stages of this cup, a 2-0 win for Norwich, very confident, very comfortable with the squad now. We even got some money for doing well in the group stages, which was decent. I think it was just over 1 million, so hopefully we get more if we progress further and actually win it.
European International Cup football semi-final stage. Norwich City, and they take on Parma.
Should be a good contest. Nice.
Here we go with the very dark kit, which I love that kit. I think it should have been their away kit over the ketchup kit. But the Parma started very well. They've got Gervinho on their wing. I didn't realise he was still around, and he clearly got a chance. But Farman's actually got handles now. But Parma started very confidently, getting a shot off there. He was offside, but they were really threatening. As then I clattered the midfielder. The advantage is played though, and they cross it into the edge of the box, and he just flicks his neck the tiniest bit, and from the edge of the penalty area hits a perfect header right into the top corner. There's nothing anyone could do about that. It doesn't matter if it was Ederson or Alisson in goal. Nothing's going to happen there.
Getting slaughtered by those fans who were convinced it should have been a pen.
It was a clean tackle there, but it did look like he elbowed him in the head. So he went down, and Stiepermann shoots it straight at the goalkeeper. And it looked like Dermot had actually been clattered, as Stiepermann shoots wide again with his weak foot. And Dermot is getting... This was a very frustrating match at the start. Dermot picks up a yellow card for just going in late on... It might have been Bruno Alves. But Byram actually makes a run down the line, doing his best to be Max Aarons, and Robert smacks it against the post. But Dermot is there to finish it off. Really good reactions. That probably calmed the whole team down. That calmed me down while I was playing, because I just missed. That was a horrific chance for Patrick Roberts to miss, but for Dermot to react so well and to finish it so comfortably was really impressive. And it was 1-1 coming up, and half-time still 1-1. Norwich really coming back into the game despite a slow start, which is just classic Norwich. As Stiepermann drives forward and thunders it against the post. It comes to Dermot on the wide, and he's not scored either. Dermot forces a save, then forces a save against the post as it gets cleared again. This is unbelievable pressure from Norwich, as Rancic lays it and gets it back from Stiepermann, holds it up, and then finishes. And if there's anyone to score from outside the box, it will be Rancic. I was saying earlier that we wanted to build it up from the back and play actual short passes to get into the box. I think that's going to have to be the case if anyone except Mario Vrancic is on the ball. As now we bring Pukki on for Dermot to try and actually solidify our position. Tetty plays it forward, gives it to Pukki with a chance to make it another and double the lead, but he just couldn't put it anywhere except in the keeper's chest. Roberts has a go, it really bobbles, and Pukki should grab a goal here. He should grab a goal again, and they just scramble it away, and that is the final. That is the end of the semi-final.
It's wonderful feeling. I can vouch for that.
Norwich City have progressed. It was a very confident pre-season. This was our toughest test yet, and it'll be interesting to see how Parma match up to the lower teams in the Premier League. If it will be like this where we should win it, but we could also worry about there's a serious chance that we might be surprised and concede a few, or if they're just not even anything compared to the lowest in the Premier League and we're ready for a shock when it comes in. Then we found Tahith Chong, the Man United prospect, and I tried to just see if I could get him on loan, because I'd assume they'd want him to be like their future star, but they were fine for me to approach him to buy, so this was very interesting, as we met with clearly not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I tried to swap him for Hanley. They said they would have considered swapping him, but they didn't want it for a centre-back, which was a bit of a shame, because I'm doing my best to get rid of Grant Hanley. I then just went ahead and I offered 5 million for Chong, because I hadn't scouted him fully, so I didn't know how much they'd want for him, but I thought if I can get him for 5, he'll help out in the future. He should be a real person to develop and do well, and they thought that was fair. So again, I don't know if I've just been screwed over and Chong's going to be a failure, but I might have way overpaid for Chong here, but I'm happy that we've got him, and now we just go into the wages. And I offered him just a place in the prospect. He was labelled a prospect, which means he'll train with the reserves and get better. But that's not what I'm planning on. I'm planning on him being like the backup for Onel Hernandez on the wing. So I'm expecting to give him quite a bit of playing time and hopefully develop into a really good player. But we've got him signed. It's all good, and it'll be very interesting to see how he develops. I then put Grant Hanley on the transfer list, and hopefully someone comes in for him. Did some training, got Chong, Ibe, Aarons, and then Pukki and Buendia to get some training done, get them improved as they can. And next up is the final against Boavista in the European International Cup. And after that is a match against Liverpool, and that's the opening match away at Anfield. So leave a comment with who I should buy. Let me know any transfer targets that you want me to see out, and any changes you want me to make to the squad. Let me know anything you have, any ideas you have to improve Norwich City now. because I might be missing out on some amazing young player who's coming up, and I want to really flesh the squad out. I'm thinking maybe a backup left back, so that if Jamal gets injured or just gets low on stamina, gets tired, then we'll have someone to play at full back. And then maybe a central defensive midfielder, because we've got Leitner, we've got Vrancic and McLean, but I'd rather have someone as another backup who's better than Teti, really. So let me know any people you have as an idea, and leave a like on this video if you want to see more parts of the Norwich career mode, and subscribe when all of them come out.